Hi guys, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. This is a pretty different video compared to the ones that I normally film, but I just decided to make this video because one day I'll be able to look back at how far I've come. By the title, you can definitely see this is everything that I took from my corporate office desk. I really didn't have time to go through everything there. I was pretty much just thrown off guard. So I decided to take everything, pack it in a box and pack it in a bag, whatever I could fit. And here I am going through everything. So for those of you that don't know, I was working as an office manager at a corporate office, and after being with the company for almost 2 years, I decided that I wanted to give my desk a complete makeover. I actually filmed a short on my video a few weeks prior, but of course I didn't see this coming. So after my desk makeover, I was fired. As I already mentioned, everything that I ordered was ordered off of Amazon. And instead of just leaving everything there, I decided to reuse it and repurpose it at home because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of projects that I'm going to be able to do. I really wanted to give my corporate desk that more feminine, inviting space, but unfortunately, I didn't really have enough time to settle on into it. So with that being said, this video is going to be less edited. I wanted to make sure that it was long enough for me to discuss everything that I wanted to, because I will also be, giving you guys a story time on why I got fired, how I got fired, and just the entire spill. I really don't even know where to start, but without further ado, let's just get on into the video. All right, so I had a lot of pretty typical standard office supplies. This is a very detailed daily to-do list book that I actually took from my desk. As you can see, I was very detailed within my work environment. I never wanted to miss a beat, so I wrote everything down, and it really helped me to keep things on track. I took home my calendar planner, my pens, my candy jar, calculators, envelopes. I was going to toss this book away, but I decided to repurpose it. So I'm ripping out the old sheets, and I'm also saving the stickers because I'm sure I can find something to do with it. And before I go ahead and start putting things together within my desk, I'm just going to clear everything off and talk to you guys about how I got fired. I usually have answers to why things happen, but in this instance, the truth is, I really don't know why I did get fired, but what I can say is that I was happy in a sense because I knew that my stress levels were continuing to rise the longer that I was there. I was unappreciated, and I just felt like things were ending there overall. I didn't cry or anything, but I will say that since I've been home for the past couple of weeks, I have had my spells of just trying to figure out what to do with myself, what to do with my time. And a lot of it has been spent on making videos, cooking, exercising, and just trying to get into the mindset of planning with purpose. Because, of course, that takes time, and this is new for me. I've never been fired from a job before. So how do we even work through that? Alrighty, so it is the month of August. I will say that I noticed that things became problematic back in December of last year. The reason is because we had a Christmas party, and during that Christmas party, it was announced that everyone would be able to work from home 2 days out of the week except me. Now, I do know that my job does require me to be there, but it wasn't going to be an issue if I did get the same policy that everyone else was given, because in a sense, I kind of felt like I was left out. People were saving money on gas. People would brag to me about how they so desperately appreciate, their work from home days. And here I am, wasn't even offered the opportunity. And it just became very depressing because everybody was able to do what they wanted to do. And I just felt like I was looked over. But I never went and complained to management about the ways that I was feeling. I just went there every day, did what I needed to do. So after the work from home policy thing happened, it was also the same month where I had my annual review. Now, if you work in any office, I will say that most times they do an annual review to just kind of go over your goals and just kind of see, what are your projected, goals for the future. So when I did speak to my boss, let's call him Mitchell. I spoke to Mitchell, and he was very belittling. He would tell me I'm not doing good enough really in anything is what it sounded like. Although I was always putting my best foot forward, I was always asking questions. I was always trying to go above and beyond to really accomplish those things that I needed to do. But Mitchell would not help. Mitchell would not answer emails. Mitchell would talk in a very derogative way as far as like he wasn't willing to help in any way, shape, or form. So I kind of felt misled. I felt like I really didn't have a leader to really turn to. I didn't feel comfortable going to the leader to really ask questions or anything of that sort, because it was always turned back on I should know how to do X and Y and Z. For an example, I had to do an expense report because I had a corp card and I was never trained on how to do that. And Mitchell said, oh, well, that's not my job to teach you. And so it kind of stung like, wow, I'm just trying to do my job and nobody's going to offer to teach me how to do it, nor do I want to mess up. So that was very frustrating, but I continued to figure things out. I continued to research and ask other people and just hoped for the best. After we did have that conversation, it really left a bad taste in my mouth because I didn't really feel like he was willing to help me succeed within the company. I had planned on staying with the company for a long time, continue to grow with the company, but it didn't seem like that's what he wanted. Another thing that's weird is my intuition has always been super strong. In the beginning, things didn't really make sense, but they started to. So he wanted me to create an office management guide. He wanted it to be PDF. He wanted it to be typed up. And while that's fine and dandy, it felt like I was already creating the path for the next person that was to come into the office. So he told me that it would be due the following year in January. So I created it immediately, but I never sent it out just because I wanted to sit on it. And I just didn't understand, the tone behind him wanting me to create that. Another issue that I seem to have with the job is that I'm super creative, and I really didn't feel like I was able to utilize my creativity within the work environment because there was a lot of times that there really wasn't much for us to do. Like, yes, we did have trainings and things like that, but that was only like once every few months, and I did reach out to ask for more work, but I was always overlooked, and so that left me with not much to do. So I would kind of just work on my own things or just try to, reach out to other departments to see what I could help them with, thinking that I was taking the initiative, but it never really panned out in my favor. In January, I also had gotten into a car accident. Someone ran into the back of my car, so that led me to physical therapy for a few months. And instead of my boss asking me how I was doing, he would always ask me, okay, when is your physical therapy going to end? So anything that he said to me never really came off as being genuine. And, looking back on it, everything makes sense. I feel as though since January up until August, he had been plotting against me to, I guess, fire me because of whatever reason. And it was like 2 weeks after the interview, like his entire persona changed. And it's like he just never liked me from that point moving forward. Nothing was done to him. He just had this nasty aura about himself. I don't really know what it was, but there would be multiple occasions where I would try to say hi to him or good morning, and he would literally walk past me like he didn't hear anything I said. So I just started to just stay to myself and really not say much. But because I've always been a loyal employee, I decided to reach out to someone that I had considered to be a close friend. This isn't somebody that I worked with outside of the office or somebody that I hung out with, but it's somebody that I can definitely say that I had some level of trust with. Let's just call her Lisa. And Lisa's about 10 to 12 years older than me. So I opened up to her about how I was feeling like I needed more work and that I'm not growing. And, I don't really feel like I have anybody to talk to. So I kind of talked to Lisa about it, and I thought that I could trust Lisa. But it turns out that Lisa wasn't really who she, says she was, in a sense. Now, the reason why I'm saying that Lisa wasn't really a good friend is because the month that I got fired, everything literally fell. July 14th, 2023 was the day that I got fired. And it's so crazy because it was literally 2 days before I was supposed to go on a cruise with my best friend. So I really didn't have time to grieve what was happening or even really process it. But with this particular person, she texted me the day before, knowing that we worked in the same department. And she asked me a specific question that really wasn't urgent, but she made it seem like it was. And I didn't see it until the next day, which was on that Friday that I got fired. And so I messaged her back and told her, hey, I am going to get back to you on your question of X and Y and Z. And she said, oh, well, could you let me know, da-da-da-da-da-da. I know you're not going to be here because you're going on vacation. It really made it seem like she cared about me. But I really don't think that that's what it was, because she worked in the same department and she was also above me in a certain role. So I would have thought that, she would have reached out to me if she was feeling some type of way, or to even give me a heads up if something were to happen to me. But that never happened. Although I wasn't sad about specifically getting fired, I did feel betrayed that I had entrusted someone and that I spoke to them about how I felt, thinking that they would be able to help me in a way to, really make progress. But it really wasn't. I feel personally that this person went to Mitchell and told Mitchell everything, and it kind of blew up in my face. And it's not even like I said anything bad. You know what I mean? It really showed me, people's true colors. Out of the 50 people that worked within a corporate office, I've only heard from 5, and it's dwindled down to about 1. Like, I would text people, check up on them, see how they were doing. People had my numbers. People followed me on social media, yet they would look at my story and they wouldn't say anything, knowing that I literally just lost my job. And it was very disturbing, to say the least, because if anything were to happen to anyone, I will always give them a heads up, try to be a listening ear, find out which ways I can support them. And to this day, I can only say that there's only one person out of the 50 that really showed their due diligence in everything that happened. So that morning I got fired, I went into the office and I noticed that HR was there, which was weird because they're never there on Fridays. But I saw them, I said good morning to them. I sat down and I felt like someone was staring at me, but I didn't want to make anything obvious. So as soon as I opened my computer, I saw 4 messages from Lisa urgently asking me to complete a specific request, which has never happened because this person never sends me messages on our Teams portal. And before I could even get myself situated, my lunchbox or anything, HR says, hey, I would like to talk to you for a moment. So she tells me she's waiting for somebody. Let's just call her Renee. She's waiting for Renee. And I'm like, wow, Renee is my really good friend. But it also dawned on me that Renee never works on Fridays either. So Renee calls me into the office with HR and they sit me down and they said, your position is going to be expanding. Your boss doesn't want to train X and Y and Z person. And there's no easy way for us to tell you this, but we're letting you go. And when I tell you, like, it was a weight lifted off of me, because I knew that I was no longer going to be forced to be in a position where I'm working for people that do not appreciate me, people do not want to see me grow, people that don't want to help me succeed in any way, shape, or form. I just never wanted to be surrounded by negativity in the first place. What I will say is that it was very disturbing that Mitchell couldn't come in there personally and, let me know how he was feeling or if there was something that I could have done differently. He just didn't show up, and it would have been so ironic that he, quote unquote, had a family emergency. So I was tired of people taking advantage of me. Like, a quick little story time, this one girl named, I'm not really good with coming up with names, but this one girl named Alexis, she had asked me to help her with something. And she's not above me. She works in a different department. She's literally just a coworker. She says, hey, could you help me with this? I had been swamped with so many things to do. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. I have a lot of things on my plate right now. And she got offended. She says, well, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. And so that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. Like, you're not my boss, you're not my manager, and you're forcing me to do something that I just don't have the space to do. So from that moment, just a lot of things were happening. The environment was toxic, and I just decided to step into this next chapter, focus on making my videos, focus on doing the things that make me happy. And the people that are meant to be in my life always will. My family, everybody has been super supportive. Everybody knows about the stories and the things that have happened. And, this was just God's confirmation that you deserve bigger, you deserve better, and to never stick around within a work environment that is going to drain you in every way, shape, or form. So this is just a new season of my life, and it's time for me to, make the best of it. I don't have a really lot of space in this office. This is my husband's office, but I have a creative desk over here where my business items are listed. And so this is the final reveal of my desk. I have my tissues, I have bunches of pencils, my clipboard, my coloring sheets that I used to do to keep me occupied. That right there is my annual review. I kept it because it was always so mind-boggling how rude my boss was. I have some box openers, a sticky pad, everything that I had on my desk. I'm still using it, still popping. And I wish you guys the best if you're going through anything such as this. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. I forgot to say one last thing. So I remember like a week after I started working there, my boss gave me like a notepad with the business name on it. And I said, wow, this is such a nice souvenir. And he goes, Oh, well, I hope it's not considered a souvenir because we'd love to have you here long term just for him to almost fire me 2 years later. So crazy.